Hi, my name is Joey Gaspierik, and I'm an enterprise account executive at AnswerRocket. And today I want to focus on how we're making integrations with large language models to make it easier to get on demand insights and analytics. And want to start with our mission statement at AnswerRocket. What we've been working to achieve for the past 10 years is just making it easy for business users to get insights from their data and to really just get to that action, right? And stop waiting for some of these answers. Because today, most business users are stuck in what we refer to as the vicious cycle. They've got a lot of data, they've got a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of dashboards, but when they have a question, they can't answer it on their own, especially those hard to answer questions. Hey, why is something happening? What's going to happen next? What are the drivers of this problem that I'm seeing in my business? And they always have to ask an analyst to help them out. And that analyst goes off, conducts the analysis, brings back an answer, and it just takes too long, right? So every time they ask a question, they have to wait, and they aren't acting on any sort of strategy in the marketplace. So what we've done historically at AnswerRocket for the past 10 years is connect to data sources where it lives, integrate with different data science models, and give business users a way to interact with that data through natural language. Hey, what's driving my margins decrease, or how is my brand doing, or what's next month's sales forecast? That's the type of questions that users can get to very quickly with AnswerRocket, but they still have to know how to ask different types of questions, have to know different metrics and dimensions and filters and time periods to really get the most out of the system. But then large language models came around, and ChatGPT really took off at the end of 2022. And this sort of conversational engine paired with the augmented analytics engine of AnswerRocket creates this really intuitive way to interrogate your data through a live agent. It feels like an AI agent. And that's where we came up with the concept of Max. And Max is an AI assistant for your data analysis that's always available. It's very conversational, like you'd expect with a large language model like ChatGPT. Understands your business and your data because it's integrated with AnswerRocket, which does that out of the box, and knows how to do more advanced capabilities like, hey, why did something happen, or what's going to happen next, instead of just the what questions and the diagnostic analysis. But parses through that data faster than any human possibly could because it's AI and machine learning, and then turns that raw data into insightful stories. So what I want to do now is show you a quick demo of Max and what it looks like in the product. So when I go over to the product, it feels very familiar to ChatGPT with this user interface. And whenever I want to just start asking a question, I don't have to be very specific. I can just say something like, what are the main drivers of pasta sales last year? And when I run this, what Max is going to do is try to pull that intent out of my question and understand what am I asking, and then pass through the important pieces back to AnswerRocket to answer the question and ground it in facts and help me understand not only a single data point, but a complete insight that can help me ultimately make a decision. So we'll see what Max responds with here, where you can see not only seeing what pasta sales were and how they increased, but also getting into some of the key drivers of the pasta category here, looking at across segments, across brands, across pack sizes, and really giving me a detailed description of what happened to pasta last year and what the drivers of the category were. The last thing Max will do is give me a visualization. In this case, it's easiest to explain this through some sort of chart here, where we're just looking at a contribution breakout, where I can see not only the top three drivers, but also the 10th ranked and 11th and 15th, and however more extensive I want to look into this, but a complete list of what those drivers were. Now, to answer a follow-up question, it's as simple as saying something like, how about for Ebro Foods? Just like you would if you were chatting with an analyst on your team, you wouldn't have to restate your question. Basically say, hey, run that same type of analysis, but this time focus on a specific manufacturer. So what Max is doing is going through and digging through to find what drove Ebro Foods in this time period. So we'll give them a couple of seconds to think, and then get a response back in just a moment. So the response feels, again, a lot like that ChatGPT experience, where it's actually generating these responses on the fly very quickly. A lot of text here that I can read through and better understand what's driving my business. And again, getting to the drivers, not just telling me the quick, here's what Ebro Foods did. It's really telling me what drove their sales and what were the big contributors to that growth. So I get a very extensive answer. I get it very quickly. And as an end user, I can ultimately get back to that action that's so important, as opposed to waiting or at worst guessing and trying to guess and use my expertise and letting my bias creep into my decision making here. So now that I have my answers, I'm able to get back to that action, and I can ultimately make the most of my time by leveraging something like Max.